Hey folks, Nick here from Another BookTube channel. Today continuing the Swamp Thing read-along with Swamp Thing number 62. We are getting very close to the end of Alan Moore's legendary run, and there is no Alan Moore in this issue. We're soft launching Rick Veitch. He's going to be taking over the series as the writer once Moore is done, and we get a glimpse of what's going to be inside, what we're expecting from this book from the cover. Stephen Bissett's great cover. Should look familiar to anybody who is a big Jack Kirby fan. We're going to be dealing with the New Gods in this issue. And I'll give us, here, I'll do a little bonus for everybody. I'll show you some Jack Kirby artwork because that's always a fun thing to do. This is from New Gods number 5. Oh, this is the reprint, New Gods reprint from 1984. It's not exactly New Gods number 5, but this is where we first saw this cover guy. An enormous celestial who's been bound to this meteor, forever destined to rotate around the source, which is like this entity, this like godlike entity that I don't know exactly what it does, but it's very powerful, and there's a lot of answers within it. All of life's questions, everything stems from it. So it's an important center of knowledge, and for that reason, the new god Metron is very, very interested in it. Metron is dedicated to the pursuit of knowledge. He goes across the galaxies in his Mobius chair, just obtaining this knowledge, and he's watching these bound celestials who are enormous, just float outside the source. And right away you'll see a lot of Tatiana Wood having to do a lot of the heavy lifting for the backgrounds. That's going to continue throughout this issue. You can see more here. And Metron's pondering. Dude loves to ponder. I mean, it's like his main activity is pondering. He's, trying to penetrate the source is like a life's goal of his, trying to unveil the secrets within it. And he's looking at it and decides, not today. We'll come back. But as he is, heading back home, he hears a ping, and he decides to check out where that ping is coming from. And it's on the body. It's on the body of this enormous celestial, and he finds an enormous mother box. And I don't want to spend too much time explaining like New Gods lore because it's been a while since I've brushed up myself. But mother box is like, it's a living piece of living machinery that the New Genesis folks, and I think the Apocalypse folks as well, use. It's like their iPhone. It's like their iPhone, but like a little bit more than that because it's actually biological in some capacity. It's a smartphone, and he finds this one pinging, and it's an older model, and first of all he finds it, and it's absolutely enormous. So he uses his chair's power to shrink it so that he can hold it. But unfortunately, in doing so, it drains his chair of energy and strands him on this enormous celestial. And he's in a tough spot because the chair runs on this precious X element, which cannot really be found, in most places. The only place he could really get it is from Darkseid, Apocalypse. So he doesn't know how he's going to get out of here. But the mother box brought him here for a reason. The mother box sensed this soul fluttering through cosmos, absorbed it into itself, and also is now releasing it so that soul is going into the flora, the natural flora of this body. And, guess who? Guess whose comic it is. First, but though, Tatiana Wood is really doing a lot of work. I would love to see the original art of like this page, because this kind of visual has been recurring the past few issues. Just these weird circles with weird color patterns. There's no hard lines in there, so I am wondering how they're rendering that on the penciled page, because they're not inking it, and how Tatiana Wood is interpreting it. That would be a really cool thing to see. Hopefully, IDW can get like a Swamp Thing artist edition going, and maybe somebody will have these pages so we can see that. That'd be really neat, especially an issue like this where so much of it is dependent on Tatiana Wood's color. We get our name of the issue, Wavelength, art, pencils and writing by Rick Veitch, ink by Alfredo Alcala. Swamp Thing is here now, and he's explaining that the mother box called out to him. It was a comforting voice, and he knew that it brought him here because I'm going to help you go into the source. Like the mother box tells me she brought me here because you wish to go there, into that. So because that's his destiny, now that's Swamp Thing's destiny as well. Swamp Thing's going to help him out, and he does it in the strangest way possible. He makes himself into the shape of a new Mobius chair for Metron to sit in his lap, and they go on a little cosmic odyssey together. And it goes without saying, Rick Veitch is really playing with the form quite a bit. Not a lot of square panels to be seen, just leaving a lot of these open areas for Tatiana Wood to mess around with the colors. Again, would absolutely kill to see the original pencil pages, to see how much is left to the imagination. They head into the source, and things get pretty weird right away. We're getting more of these crazy patterns. They find this weird guy who doesn't really have a face, who's just kind of like, just like shooting a laser at stuff. And he is called a transmuter, and they hang out on the fringes of reality. They take the compost of creation, and they work them into globules of higher matter to be fed back into the great scheme of things. So we're playing, really deep with metaphysical stuff, things that probably aren't really meant to be completely understood. So don't feel bad if you don't quite get what that means. I don't know that we are supposed to entirely. I certainly don't. This transmuter catches them, sees them, and turns his head toward them, and now they have to escape before they get transmuted and destroyed. And Swamp Thing, he's using his what he learned from the Green Lantern to vibrate the frequency in his body to go through the source and to avoid this transmuter. And they reach a point where they believe they have crossed the threshold. They've crossed the final barrier, and they'll finally get the answers to the ultimate question and ultimate questions. And Metron is relaying now, we think just to us, but we'll find out later who he's talking to, what he saw when he crossed that final barrier. And he saw everything. He saw like all of human history. He saw it from every angle. Prehistory. He saw this is the crisis at Infinite Earths here. And then you get something like this. This kind of spread is awesome that Rick Veitch messed with. Because this is what 4, so that's 16 panels, and then it becomes 25 panels, and he's just seeing more and more, and we're getting little descriptions of what he's seeing. And so some of the things he sees are a baby kitten suffering distemper. I saw the heel of a shoe crushing a delicate flower, the mania and delusions that accompany all civilizations, the omens that augur all future acts. I cried in humiliation along with each Promethean giant, then laughed at their spectacle. I saw his face screaming as the madness overcame him, and I saw my face. And that's Swamp Thing, whose face is in madness that he's talking about. And we get that reveal of who he's talking to, which is Darkseid, whose face takes up basically the whole page. Great juxtaposition from like all these tiny images, smaller images, to boom, now we have a single splash page with one single image. And Darkseid explains that Metron's a fool. They didn't actually cross into the source. The transmuter tricked them. What they saw was an Aleph. Alephs are points from which one can observe all other points in time and space. They are considered parlor tricks. This is bad for Metron because he was hoping to use the knowledge he gained from the source to barter with Darkseid to get more X element for his chair. But Darkseid still thinks that there's something useful he can gain from this. Um, he asks what Swamp Thing saw, and Swamp Thing has already left at this point. We could see he's left his Mobius chair body. He's still continuing his journey home. So this is just a husk now. But Motherbox, what Motherbox did in order to keep Swamp Thing sane, because as we got implied here, there was madness in his eyes, is Motherbox basically erased all of his memories of what he saw. So Darkseid would like to review what it was he saw, and he saw Abby. So Metron saw everything that he could possibly want in history of multiple planets. Swamp Thing only saw Abby, and he saw like the beautiful times together. But then as things go on, he saw like the past, but then he saw the future. He saw weird things. He saw Abby embracing John Constantine. He sees the man burning, which Alec Holland, and things just getting worse and worse. Another man burns. The green dimension, withering, rotting, dropping away piecemeal. A witch doctor deep in the New Guinea rainforest, grinding powders in a ceremonial bowl. More burning. The burning. No, please, stop the burning. So Swamp Thing is going mad from the visions that he is seeing here. And I just, again, love this layout. Really creative, really fun. And I love that it breaks up for Swamp Thing here into shards of glass that are pinging to go back to the mother box, because that's where we're getting all the information from, is the mother box. And Darkseid likes this information. He likes what he's learned, and he grants Metron the X element that he needs for his chair, because Darkseid has been trying to solve this anti-life equation, which will give him power over the entire universe. And he has learned now a variable that he wasn't taking into consideration, and that element, that variable, is love. And next up, Loose Ends reprised. So that's it. That's Swamp Thing number 62. We're getting close to the end. This is a really cool issue, especially if you are a Jack Kirby fan and you like that New Gods mythos, that Fourth World stuff. Really cool to see Rick Veitch playing with that. Let me know if there's anything that I missed in this issue that was worth talking about. Let me know your thoughts about this issue in the comments below. Thank you very much for spending some time with me today. But now, it's time to get back to reading.